Welcome to the couch. This is where we get personal, where we get real, where we get scared, but we do it bravely. Today, I'm gonna do my nails because look at these crusty little things. Woo! I'm gonna do my nails while, and I thought this was a fun idea, I take Am I Gay quizzes online. The whole inspiration behind this is just me reflecting, thinking back on all the relationships I've had and just like, So there were things that I actively avoided, but then realized it's becoming a pattern. And no, I'm not gonna get messy with it and spill everyone's tea, okay? I'm not gonna do that. That's not my character. It's like gross. But I will be talking about my own experience and just like talking about how it feels to know that I was queer from a young age, but not really like taking the time to really just like think about it and internalize it until I got to my 20s. Guys, look at these tiny freaking clippers that I have. I think they're for babies, but they work so perfectly on my little petite hands. So first I'm going to be cutting my nails. I already had to cut my pinky because it chipped. And I'm so sad to see these go, but they have to. Let's start with a WikiHow quiz though. I'm gonna show it on the screen right here. Oh my god, wow. So I'm gonna stay right here. Have you ever had feelings for a same-gender close friend? Yes, I think so. That's why I'm taking this quiz. I've had crushes on girls in the past. I was literally like, I'm bi. I had a feeling that I was like, whoever I like, I'm gonna like, and I really don't care like if they're a girl or guy. And somehow I was just too afraid when it came to girls. Let's be honest. I think so, that's why I'm taking this quiz. Have you ever kissed someone or wanted to kiss someone of the same gender? No, I haven't I mean, technically yes. Have I sought out that experience for myself? No, I'm too scared. I'm far too afraid. So, I haven't done it, but I want to try it. How do you feel about queer characters in TV shows and movies? Love them! I feel like I relate to them a lot more. When someone asks you who you're crushing on, a name comes to mind immediately and it's someone of the same gender. I make up a name or pick someone random. I literally don't get the big deal about crushes. I talk about someone of the opposite sex who I'm genuinely crushing on. I don't know how to answer this. I'm not really crushing on anyone at the moment. I guess when I do have a crush, a name comes to mind immediately, but most of the time it's not of the same gender. I mean, I don't know. Skip, has anyone ever asked you if you are gay? No, but I don't think people need to ask me that because I don't think the people I interact with are very confrontational. It just never came up. Like, I think a lot of people assume that I'm straight because I've had heteronormative relationships. It looks like I'm just straight. I will say like, oh, I'm bi, or I'm just unlabeled, or I'm figuring it out. C, no one has asked directly if I'm gay, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did ask. Yeah, I'll go with C. When you imagine being in a relationship, what do you picture? B, I'm not sure. Any gender seems okay. Yeah, I think that most resonates with me. How would you feel about identifying as gay? I feel like it would be a lot more, like I would feel a lot more clarified, like, you know what I mean? It honestly makes me a little nervous, but also kind of fits. I'm assuming that this test is actually just like straight up like homosexual, and I don't know if it like counts as bi or pan or whatever secret third option I have. I think I'll do B. Have you ever felt attracted to someone of the same gender? Yes, but everyone has, right? Right? Yeah. Anyway, how How do you feel about dating someone of the opposite gender? I definitely date or have dated someone of the opposite gender. You know, that's why I'm like, am I bi? Am I pan? Am I whatever? Like, because I have enjoyed my relationships with dudes, but nowadays I'm like really questioning. I don't freaking know. Do you ever fantasize about being with someone of the same gender? Yeah. I feel like on an emotional scale, I feel like I could just connect with another woman way more easily. I feel like maybe a lot of the struggles that I have within my own relationships, of course, they're like internal. They're like things that I need to work on myself. And I am like actively trying to fix those things or like work with them. But when it comes to like the nature of how women interact with each other emotionally, I feel like it would be more connected. And also like I feel like we could, you know, really bond on a lot of the things that we have to face together, like misogyny and all that stuff. I remember saying in my own head, I was like, if I had just like all my friends women, I think I'd be set for life. Is that wrong? Like, I what could I possibly relate to with a man? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I've had male friendships, but most of the time they're gay. They're gay. So I know that we're not going to be attracted to each other. We're moving on. 11. When you imagine kissing or being intimate with a future partner, how do you feel? A, as long as I'm with someone I really like, that sounds great. That sounds great. B, good, I guess. C, I can't imagine that, and I don't think I'll ever want that regardless of gender. D, I'm too young for that. A, if you scroll through your feed or For You page, do you see content from queer creators? Izzy and Emma shout out, turtle with hat supremacy. And that's one of the things that led me down this rabbit hole of questioning my whole entire existence. So yeah, flash forward 5 years. How likely is that your partner is the same gender as you? Well, I just got out of breakup and I'm trying to like really just take the time to myself, but I have talked to some close loved ones about, you know, exploring outside of what I've already explored. And they've kind of low-key encouraged me. They were like, hey, maybe try it out. So, I don't know. I can't really predict that, you know? I can't really predict any of that. I don't know if I have riz with ladies. That's the thing. I feel like I just talk to everyone in this weird forward way. And I don't know. If you're lesbian and you're watching this, would you go for a gal like me? 14. Would you be comfortable using an LGBTQ plus dating app? I mean, I'm open to giving one a try in the future. 15. Are there a lot of LGBTQ individuals in your friend group? I literally surrounded myself with a lot of like people I felt comfortable with, and the people I felt comfortable with were people that were in the LGBTQ space. That I don't know, I just feel more accepted there. 16. What inspired you to take this quiz? I identify with aspects of the queer experience, but am not totally sure where I stand. B. Wait! Let's do the quiz properly. Yes, that one. Have you ever kissed someone or wanted to kiss someone of the same gender? I haven't done it, but I want to try it. How do you feel about queer characters? Oh, I've totally watched it. When someone asks you who you're crushing on, I'll just do that one. Has anyone ever asked you if you were gay? No one asked directly if I'm gay, but I wouldn't be surprised if they asked. When you imagine being in a relationship, what do you picture? I'm not sure. Any gender seems okay. How do you feel about identifying as gay? It makes me a little nervous. Have you ever felt attached to someone of the same gender? Or no, have you ever felt attracted to someone of the same gender? Yes. Oh, I forgot to put what everyone else has. How do you feel about dating someone of the opposite gender? I definitely have dated. Do you ever fantasize about being with someone of the same gender? Yeah. When you imagine kissing or being intimate with a future partner, how do you feel? As long as it's with someone I like, sounds great. If you scroll through your feed or for your page, do you see queer content creators? Yep, you got me. Flash forward 5 years. Pretty likely. Would you be comfortable using an LGBTQ dating app? I'm open to giving one a try. Guys, this is gonna result in you're gay. Denial is a river in Egypt. You yourself, honey, are gay. This is literally what this quiz is gonna tell me. Let's just do that one. What inspired you to take this quiz? I'm not sure where I stand. It's gonna tell me I'm gay. Guys, this didn't give me any more clarity. You might be gay. What the hell? Since we've done one test, I think it's appropriate to start doing our nails. I'm literally just gonna start by cutting my nails. But yeah, guys, I just feel a little lost at the moment, just where I stand on my sexuality. I've been questioning it a lot just because of like my past experiences, and I have noticed a pattern in where I go for more feminine energy. I just feel most comfortable with it. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I was brought up in a house that was mostly dominated by women. Like, I have two sisters, my mom and obviously my dad, but like I just was always surrounded by feminine love, feminine attention, feminine energy, especially in my cousins as well, which I am very close with. I don't know, it's just been something that I want to explore within myself, just because I think I could gain a lot of clarity. Of course, you gain the most clarity when you're by yourself. You get to know yourself a lot more. I always thought that I am attracted to male energy. That's why I've had boyfriends. I am attracted to the sort of male energy, but lately I'm just really questioning if it's attraction to male energy or if it's just the standard of heteronormative culture that has like led me down this path of I want a boyfriend. That's where I am most conflicted within myself, thinking like, am I really attracted to men, or is it just because I've been surrounded by heteronormative culture? And I think that's a very valid question to ask yourself, especially when you're questioning if you're gay or straight or just queer in general. I want to say that I'm not affected by the patriarchy, but I am. I very much am affected. All of the struggles that heteronormative dating culture has placed upon me, and it's kind of sad, of course, to think that maybe I could have been like exploring myself a lot more in relationships with women when I've been so focused on male attention, male validation. But I mean, you live and you learn and you grow, and I think maybe after I've done the proper amount of healing, the proper amount of like active action towards healing myself and making myself be a better partner, I think maybe I will try it out. I will try something new, something like different. Who knows? It could go bad, it could go well, it could go completely unexpected, but I think I should give myself the privilege of experiencing that. I've cut 4 of the nails. I'm gonna miss her, but yeah, I should give myself the privilege of that. Just because I'm scared doesn't mean that I have to live in that constant like, oh, I it's too new, it's too different, it's too like strange. I don't know. It's like, what if people like think of me different? But like, I can't go through life like that. I have to like just live it for myself, you know? It's kind of hard to think that like maybe I have been depriving myself of that whole other experience. At the same time, it's exciting in a way. I want to start watching and like taking in more content from lesbians that have kind of gone through this similar path. Like I feel like there's not a lot of discussion in like realizing you're gay, or I think there's so much like personal nuance to my situations because I think I'm allowed to talk about it because it is my life. But if we've dated before, don't watch this part. But okay, is it just us? Okay. Literally all my past relationships, they have fallen under the queer spectrum in some way. And it's crazy because after my relationships, it would just be like this big revelation of just like, oh, I think I unlocked something within that person, or I've given them enough security to open up to me and like maybe like say their truth about themselves. And maybe I'm like completely thinking of it the wrong way. Again, if you're my ex and this is completely wrong, then ignore this. It's been 3 times. It's been 3 times, and I don't know if I can go through something like that again. I feel like I'm developing some sort of anxiety in even thinking about a relationship where I don't know if I'm there to be a lesson to them, or if I'm actually there because I don't know. What I'm really asking of the universe is to just tell me or give me a relationship where I don't feel like this is some sort of karmic ritual for this other person. Like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. I just want to feel loved in a way that like you actually love me and not what I provide for you, which is emotional stability, emotional support. Like, I feel like I've given so much of that to other people that 2025 was a big lesson, and I need to be able to give myself emotional stability. I can't keep giving this out because it's literally wearing me down. To be real for 1 second, and I have been real like this whole video so far, but like to be really real, I'm gonna be honest and say that I've been waking up with like really bad anxiety. I've been waking up with really bad anxiety and really bad like heart palpitations. Every time I wake up, I'm having a panic attack, but like not as severe. It's just like some mild like, oh, I've woken up. I don't know. It's just been really hard for me lately, especially with like trying to figure out my sexuality and like who I am and what I can do to give myself the proper clarity in what I identify as. It's just really frustrating because I don't want to label myself. Like, I actively don't want to, because I feel like it's freeing in a way to not be labeled, but it's confusing to not know what I should be looking for. A lot of people say that like relationships come when you least expect it, but I'm trying to be an active participant in my own life. Like, that's why I started online dating in the first place. Like, I felt like I was just waiting and waiting and waiting when I wanted something so bad. Maybe the desperation was my downfall, but I wouldn't have taken it back. Like, I don't regret it. I wouldn't want to call it a waste of time to be in that relationship, even though it ended. Like, I feel like I've learned so much about myself in that relationship. Like, I truly like opened my eyes and thought like, what am I? Like, who am I? That relationship like opened my eyes so much to how much like rooted, I don't want to say misogyny. I got to a point in life where I was like, I always considered myself bi, but I never went for it. I never did anything about it. So maybe I'm not bi. And then this relationship like kind of opened my eyes because of some certain situations. And I was like, maybe I am just attracted to feminine energy. I've been told by many people that I have a way of getting people to open up to me, and this doesn't just show in like friendships or like romantic relationships. Like, literally some strangers that I've like had conversations with, they just like they just dump on me, and I'm like, I literally don't know you, but I'm still gonna be here to listen to whatever you need to say. I think I just need that in my life as well. I need that reciprocated, because I've always searched for emotional maturity, emotional vulnerability that I can fully have with someone, and I don't think I've found that yet. I'm excited to see what the future has for me in that regard, but at the same time, like, of course I'm gonna work on myself. Of course I'm gonna try and like fix my bad habits. But I mean, I can't help but be excited to see what happens for me. It won't just be like a situation of me just waiting for things to happen, because I want to say that I tried. You know, I want to say that I tried. I want to be able to say that I failed at something, because that means that I gave my all. You know, that's why I don't want to like, I hate bashing on like past relationships. Like, I would never, unless if it was like truly toxic or truly like really really bad, I just don't have it in my heart to be like, yeah, that person was really really like a waste of time or whatever. They still provided some sort of happiness for me. I'll like, even though it hurts so much right now and I want to like project and be like, oh, blah 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 blah, like, I don't, in the future I don't want to say, oh, I regret like speaking so badly about this person. Okay, that literally just turned into a talk about my ex and relationships and stuff. But going back to the gay thing, I want to be able to explore that side of me. I want to be able to say that I tried my best. And honestly, like, when I look at queer relationships online, specifically Izzy and Emma's, I'm like, that truly like is a bond that I feel like can't be replicated in a hetero relationship. It's just the way that we were taught and like grown up to feel more, to handle more things through talking, to handle more things through like being emotionally available and like vulnerable to people. That's the thing that I'm like, I want to not teach to someone. I don't want to teach a man how to be vulnerable with me. I don't want to teach a man how to like talk to me when something's wrong. And I understand that like sometimes in a relationship it's just different. Like, you just need to let your partner cope how they need to cope, and that's completely fine. But me personally, my standards and how I will be moving forward is I need someone to be like actually on the same level of emotional maturity. Like, I need to be able to talk to someone about my problems and for them to not hear it as an attack on their character. The reason why I'm so outspoken about how I feel and how things bothered me is because I know what it feels like to bottle things up, and to me it just doesn't seem like the most productive thing to do. I feel like talking it out is really just really great solution. Of course, I've learned that like sometimes I do get really critical of my partners, and I'm working to fix that. Hence staying single and like fixing everything within myself, because I'm not perfect. I'm still a human. Like, I've made mistakes, I've hurt people in the past that I do regret, and I would do more than anything to change that, to go back in the past and change that. But since I can't do that, all I could do is be better in the future. Okay, I've done all of my cutting and filing. Time to freaking take this nail polish off. I'm just using regular nail polish remover and trusty little cotton bowl. Do you guys ever just like cut your nails and then like play around with the cuttings? Look how long my nail is. Oh my god. Sorry, was that weird? I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop. I'm going to take this old nail polish off. Maybe I'll move you guys closer. While I'm soaking my nails in acetone, I'm going to do some more quizzes. This time, I think I should search up like a straight up lesbian quiz. So let's do that. There's another WikiHow quiz that I found. Have you ever had butterflies around a girl? Yeah. Do your close female friendships ever feel intense or kind of romantic? Sometimes, yeah. I feel like that's so like lesbian awakening though. Like being like, wow, my best friend is so freaking pretty and cute. Is something happening to me? I've had one friendship that did feel a little different. Yeah. When you imagine a future with Guy, what do you picture? Oof, I can't picture that at all. What the heck? This is literally me. I can see myself ending up with a guy, but I can't imagine what he'd look like or be like. Oh my god, that's literally me to a T. I've literally said to my sister, like, I can see myself, when I picture myself getting married or like having a relationship, I literally can't imagine the person's face. Who do you mainly have crushes on? Girls, female celebrities, or fictional female characters? A mix of girls and guys, male celebrities or fictional? I'm just gonna put a mix. How do you feel about queer female characters, celebrities, or influencers? I will watch it. I will watch or read anything just for queer representation. Yeah, I will do that. I can identify with lots of queer female characters. This is the thing. The problem is, I feel like a lot of queer or lesbian characters that are presented online are almost entirely like evil girls or butch lesbians, which I can't relate to, but butch lesbians I do feel something for that. But also at the same time, like feminine, this is a maze that I'm just never gonna get out of. But I will watch or read anything. Do you feel romantically attracted to guys? I mean, I have. I'm not interested in being romantic. I think I'm more romantically. I definitely experience romantic attraction to guys. How does it feel to be physically intimate with a guy or imagine being intimate? I don't know. I mean, I'll just put, I know I like guys, but I'd be open to being intimate with a girl. How do you feel about kissing a girl? Ooh. Do you have a lot of friends who identify as LGBTQ? Yes. Same answer. I'll just put the same answer as before. I'm pretty sure about my identity, but I just wanted to check. I identify as queer, but I'm not sure if I'm only attracted to women. I'm starting to wonder if oh, let's do this one. When you imagine kissing or being intimate with your future partner, how do you feel? Oh, this is the same question, as long as I'm with someone I like. If a woman flirted or expressed attraction towards you, how would you feel? I'd feel really nervous. I'd feel amazing. How can we make this happen? I'd be interested and want to get to know her better. See, I'm trying to freaking do that. So I think manifestation is just talking about yourself and talking about your dreams and progress and everything in the present tense. So I'm gonna do, I'd be interested and want to get to know her better, even though I'm freaking terrified. How do you feel after watching or listening to queer media? Very fulfilled. A part of me feels really seen and validated. There's this show on Netflix called Heartbreak High. When I watched it, I really felt like a lot of empathy towards this character. I forgot her name, but she's an autistic lesbian that had a relationship with a girl, and it made me really like excited for her, as if she was my close friend. Like, I literally got parasocial for her. So yeah, I feel seen and validated. And I don't know, I like project myself onto TV characters. I'm pretty sure everyone does that. Do you ever dream about getting intimate with another woman? Do you ever dream? I mean, is this like a literal dream? I don't know. Do you ever dream about getting intimate with another woman? Or is this like a wish fulfillment thing? I'll just put, no, I haven't really given it much thought. Wait, but that makes it sound like I don't, wait, okay. Sometimes, but not exclusively. How would you feel if someone assumed you were lesbian? Because I wouldn't put confused, and it wouldn't be like they clearly don't know me at all. I'd be like intrigued. Lastly, pretend that 2 years have passed. How likely are you to be dating someone who's the same gender as you? This is kind of like the first quiz's last question. So, fairly likely. Whoa, I've won 6,000 Robux? You could be bisexual, pansexual, or somewhere on the LGBTQ spectrum. We knew this! Oh my god. So guys, that was a complete bust. But good news, my nails are naked. They're super freaking crusty. The crustiest ever. And I know that maybe I should give my nails a break from being put through hell and back with nail polish, but I literally can't do that. So I think I'm gonna do my cuticles while talking a little bit more. And yeah, I think this podcast kind of formation where it's just seeing my face is still pretty good. Tell me what you guys think though. I'm not even sure what color I'm going to do my nails, but I'm just gonna clean them and see what my options are. That's usually how I do it anyway. If I can speak candidly in this moment right now, I feel a little bit scared about picturing myself intimate with another woman. Now, I think this is just an issue with myself though, because I am not very comfortable with my own body. I try to avoid looking at it. Now this just got real. I try to avoid looking at it at all times possible, and I don't really see myself as a sensual, sexual, figure. And maybe you could chalk that up to like low self-esteem. I feel like I'd be uncomfortable with making another girl uncomfortable with how uncomfortable I am with my body. And also, again, like, I'm not sure if it's just the media that I've always consumed, where it's always just a heteronormative like sexual relationship. In all honesty, I don't know what I want, and I don't know how I will feel about everything if it ever comes to that point in me getting to know another girl. I've never experienced what it's like with a girl, so I don't know. I just can't be sure of anything, honestly, now that I'm questioning everything. But I just don't want to like put someone in that position of, oh, that person was my awakening to like not be attracted to a woman in that way. And I just that feels like a horrible thing to like do to someone, which is one of the things that like scare me the most about seeking out a lesbian relationship. Maybe it's just I haven't exposed myself to a lot of like lesbian media. A lot of the queer content online or in like the stratosphere is more centered on men, like gay relationships, not lesbian relationships, if that makes any sense. And when lesbian relationships are like centered, it feels more like problematic in the sense that like this feels like it's fetishizing them, you know what I mean? Of course, that's just a product of misogyny and like males fetishizing everything a woman does, their body, they're literally you can't do anything without getting fetishized. Like, I've always avoided lesbian media because I hate viewing lesbian relationships in such a male way. Like, it makes me feel a little gross. And like, I'm not a very lustful person. I try to avoid that actually, because I just know that it's not for me. If you have any lesbian movies or shows that I can watch and like expose myself to, I'd really love to be able to see it and, open my mind to more of this side of myself. And if anyone has any like experience as well, like just being like, I don't know how I would feel being intimate with another woman and how you overcame that, I would also love to know. Sorry if the camera slightly moved. I had to charge my phone. I forgot what I was talking about, but I'm gonna freaking do my cuticles. I still have to do my right hand, but I did my left. It's mediocre at best. There's a saying that oldest daughters need to be babied, and it's for a reason. It's because I've literally looked over both of my little siblings as if I was already a mom. I can't freaking baby another person, okay? My mental capacity is over with that. And if I end up with someone that like needs to be babied, I'll do it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be emotionally exhausted. Like I said before, I need someone that has the same level of emotional maturity. It's valid to switch. It's valid to like want to take turns being babied, and I will do that. But as the oldest daughter, I just can't afford to have any more of my mental sanity babying another person, especially my romantic partner. Like, I can't do that again. Genuinely, I wish I was able to explore this side of me when I was like in high school, or if I was in college, like dorming and everything. But unfortunately, I don't have the privilege of doing that. So I'm just gonna do it the hardcore way, see what happens in the future. And also, like, straight men come in like 2 different fonts, bro. Unless you get like that straight man that's like actually freaking so secure in his relationship with like himself and like his emotional vulnerability, which is like crazy to think that that's really rare. It's so rare. And I've never known about it until I started going out on dates with people. I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering when it comes to relationships, which I don't appreciate. I feel like social media has really just like taken advantage of like everyone who's terrified of being in a relationship, whether that's a woman looking for a relationship or a man, literally anyone in between and beyond. Like, seriously, nowadays there's so many rules to being in a relationship. I will be so honest, a lot of the rules in relationship videos, like, they are so pushing the gender norms. Has anyone else realized that? It's a lot of like, the lady needs to be in her feminine energy. She needs to talk the feminine way to get the man in the relationship to be in their masculine energy. You need to hype them up. He needs to provide. He needs to do. And it's like, do we not realize that we're pushing gender norms? And in lesbian relationships, at least from what I've seen, a lot of masks and butches, like, they sometimes feel unfeminine being in these relationships because they are pushed to the masculine role, when the masculine role, like, shouldn't even exist. The feminine role shouldn't even exist either. Like, we should just love each other. What? Oh my god. But these gender norms are just so ridiculous. And I feel like people who are in relationships right now, they are constantly comparing themselves to whose relationship is like, whose relationship on the internet is doing the best right now, and how can we mimic that, and how can we like copy those same, like, I don't know, behaviors, when in reality you're with this person because you guys are completely unique. Like, your bond is not the same as anyone else's, and you shouldn't treat it as if it was like anyone else's. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to compare. It's so easy to be like, well, the grass is greener on the other side, but actually it's not. One analogy I really love is your grass will be greener wherever you water it. Like, your garden will prosper, will be able to like grow and be nurtured for if you nurture it. But if it's a person that you really care about and you guys are compatible, but you're just having struggles and you're constantly comparing yourselves with like the new it couple, then take the time to really appreciate your person. Take the time to really appreciate like what you guys have going on and not what everyone else is doing. Like, you fell in love with this person for a reason, and it's just like, don't throw it away just because you saw online that like if they do this and this, then that means they definitely hate your freaking guts. No, here's the nuance to the freaking situation. There's always freaking hypotheticals that can happen, and this has a lot to do with like toxic behavior and stuff. That's a whole completely different conversation, but right now I'm focusing on comparing yourselves to other relationships. Now, I will say I'm not the perfect person ever, because I did compare my relationship to relationships I saw online, because it's so easy to do that, and I know that that's something that I need to work on. You don't want to like listen to your partner just be like, you didn't do this, and that's like, I feel like I was constantly doing that. Maybe it's because I was projecting as well. I felt less capable in the relationship because towards the end I was holding on to resentment from the past when I know that I shouldn't have, and I preached that the most too, which is like so hypocritical of me. At the moment it felt justified because the types of things that like I would hold resentment for, like, they were not small, they were pretty big, they were major actually. I like realized like I said I forgave this person, I said that like I will move past that, so I should move past that. Like, I shouldn't just like be like secretly harboring like all this like negative energy and negative like emotions for things that I've already said I've forgiven them for. It's hard to break habits like that. This is one thing that we need to be empathetic for. Like, when it's like multiple times, like a lot, then you should really reevaluate that situation. You know what I mean? Of course, as much as I like to preach about, you know, trying to do the right thing, I know that I'm not perfect. I definitely have made some childish mistakes just because I couldn't control my own emotions. And again, that's just something I have to work on. That's something that I can't blame this person for. But at the same time, I have to give myself grace and be like, I'm only human, and if I was able to give this person a lot of sympathy and forgiveness, then good for me, like I was able to do that. But if I feel like I wasn't being afforded the same forgiveness and sympathy, then it's just like I can't do anything about it, because that's just not me. That's I can't understand that thinking where it's like one and done. Maybe that's a lesson for me to just be like, well, maybe next time I won't be super forgiving. Sorry, this literally turned into a whole preachy rant about relationships when I was literally talking about if I was gay or not. I hope at least one person like heard that and like opened their eyes to something, because I feel like talking really candidly about relationships and like how honest it is to be in a relationship where you kind of like really don't know yourself, it will help someone, because it helped me, especially when I heard like so many videos about like, just really think about the relationship you're in, blah blah blah. Not necessarily comparing myself, but listening to that advice and being like, well, now I gotta reevaluate. Okay, time to actually do my nails. I have this really pretty red, and you guys know me, I love the color red and black, so I might do ladybug nails. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far, and hopefully someone listened to whatever I was saying and got some advice from it, or you can give me some advice for my situation as well. I feel like having queer relationships in my formative years like really helped me realize like how people are really capable of love. I know it's so hard to be like gay in high school or in middle school, but if there's one thing that I learned is that you will find your people, and even if things seem like you are alone and you aren't able to really be yourself, you will have a future in like being in a community where you do feel safe and loved at the same time, if you go out and search for it. Because again, you can't stew in your own loneliness. It's really hard to try and give someone reassurance when if their situation is really like it can't be helped. But genuinely, there's so many resources where you can reach out to people, whether it's online or in person in your communities. Like, you can reach out to people that you can relate to, and it's like there's no corner of the internet where there's no place for you. Speaking like LGBTQ wise, like I feel like the rise of queer media is just like helping that even more, to help anyone realize like who's also questioning their sexuality and stuff, just to be like, hey, you're not alone, there's so many other people like you. And I think that's one of the things that they don't talk about when talking about LGBTQ culture. Since the beginning, people like were afraid of coming out because it felt so isolating, because people felt like they didn't feel the same as anyone else. Like, that's the reason why a lot of groups in the beginning were formed. When I was taking my intro to LGBTQ culture class, I learned about so many organizations that were formed by people who just wanted a community, and those communities like helped them so much in realizing that they weren't alone. Like the Sisters of Bilitis, which was a lesbian group, the queer group for women, that really helped a lot of queer women just like realize there's so many other women like them and that they weren't alone in feeling that way. There were places for trans women to go to, like bars and other hangout spots where they were allowed to just be themselves, allowed to just dance with their lovers, allowed to just like actually freely dress up like who they really are inside. And I think that's so beautiful. People really do need community, as much as like people want to say like sometimes being by yourself is just better. If you need to be alone like to recharge your batteries, like I get it, but if you need to be alone because you think that like isolating yourself is like the solution, it's really like you have to fight against that urge to isolate yourself, because when you start isolating yourself, you just feel alone and scared, and like no one can understand you, when in actuality there's like millions of people that actually understand the exact same situation that you're in. I guess this is my way of also opening up and finding my community as well. This is a very open and safe space for everyone who feels similar to me or similar to each other. I know I don't advertise myself as someone who's like very adamant about queer culture, but I really am, because that's who I feel inside. Let loose. Like, this is your safe space. You know? Anyway, this is the first coat. I'm gonna do a second one. My nails are dry. Time to add black for the ladybug dots, and I'm gonna use this awesome little nifty dotting tool. Yay! Okay, so the lights are going down. My phone storage is literally this much again. I'm gonna do this really freaking quick.
Instead of a music time lapse, I decided to do a little voiceover. Hey guys, little disclaimer, when I use the term lesbian, I don't straight up mean just like biological woman, you know what I mean? I'm more on the genderqueer side of things. Since I go by they, she pronouns, I kind of, I apply the same logic to everyone else. Whatever pronouns they use, I don't really mind. You know what? Maybe I am more pansexual than I thought.
Let's see the final review. Ladybug nails. It's a little bit messy, but like, isn't it so cute? Look at them. That one's the messier one because I'm right-handed. This is my left. Guys, what do we think? What do we think? I'm hearing yes. I'm hearing 10 out of freaking 10. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this journey. I really appreciate it, and I really love that you stuck around to the end to watch me just talk and talk and talk about love and questioning myself and painting my nails. I think the nails was like 1/3 of the video, but like, it's okay. I hope you painted your nails with me. Let's share this experience together. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications for more future videos. And also, I'm super silly on my TikTok, so I mean, hey, follow me. But thank you guys so much for watching, and never forget to just be authentically you. Bye. Love you guys so much. ASMR. Guys, I actually really want to film an ASMR video.